From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Agents take ramifications of player hold-ins, why Ja'Marr Chase must tread carefully as he seeks new deal. The Bengals star WR is staging a hold-in, and stands to lose a lot of money doing so. The hold-in became a new tactic for players trying to get contract unhappiness addressed because of the harsh economic consequences of a holdout under the 2020 NFL collective bargaining agreement. Teams are required to find players who aren't on rookie contracts, such as New York Jets edge rusher Haason Reddick and San Francisco 49ers offensive tackle Trent Williams, $50,000 per day with training camp absences. Players on rookie contracts, like Dallas Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, are subject to a $40,000 per day fine. There's an additional penalty of 1 week's base salary, 1/18 of salary, for each preseason game missed with players signing contracts as unrestricted free agents, Reddick and Williams, or for first-round picks playing under their fifth-year option, Lamb. According to the CBA, training camp runs from a team's mandatory reporting day through the Sunday before the first regular season game, September 1st, for daily fining purposes. Under previous CBAs, there was more latitude for fines to be reduced or waived. Fine forgiveness or reduction is only allowed for players under rookie contracts with the current CBA. A player will report to training camp, but won't practice or have limited participation in an effort to get a new contract as a hold-in. These fines are avoided with attendance. For instance, Pittsburgh Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt was essentially a spectator during training camp and preseason practices in 2021 until a few days before the regular season opener when he became the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback. There are two prominent hold-ins this preseason. Both are wide receivers. Brandon Ayuk, who is scheduled to make a fully guaranteed $14.124 million in 2024 on a fifth-year option, expressed his displeasure with his contract situation at various points during the offseason on different social media platforms. He skipped offseason workouts and subjected himself to a $101,716 fine for missing the entire three-day mandatory June minicamp. Ayuk's frustration reached a boiling point when he requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers shortly before the start of training camp. The 49ers gave Ayuk's representatives permission to negotiate a new contract with interested teams in an effort to help facilitate a trade. The Cincinnati Bengals have downplayed Ja'Marr Chase's hold-in. Head coach Zach Taylor claimed a good plan was in place for Chase when asked about the three-time Pro Bowler's lack of participation in training camp despite passing the preseason physical. Chase was absent from off-season workouts until attending June's mandatory minicamp without partaking in team drills other than walkthroughs. The 2021 fifth overall pick missed practice last Tuesday. It is unknown whether Chase's absence was excused. Chase is under contract for 2 more seasons because the Bengals exercised a fully guaranteed $21.816 million fifth-year option with him for 2025. He is making a fully guaranteed $4,862,679 this year, consisting of a $1.055 million base salary and a $3,807,679 third day of training camp roster bonus, which has already been paid. A hold-in only has a chance to be successful with a team's cooperation. A team has plenty of tools at its disposal when unwilling to be a participant. This shouldn't happen with Ayuk because he is likely to either sign a contract extension with the 49ers or get a new deal as a part of a trade to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There is potential for Chase's situation to become explosive. Bengals president Mike Brown made conflicting statements about a month ago at the team's annual media luncheon ahead of the opening of training camp. He suggested that a deal is unlikely this year while also recognizing Chase's importance to the franchise. "It's not so likely that this is the good time to negotiate," Brown said. "The offseason is a better time for that, and we're going to try to keep focused on the football part. I'm not going to rule anything out, but I will tell you that the die has probably been cast." Brown went on to say about Chase, "He's a key player next to Joe Burrow. He's our next one. He knows that. We know it. This may take a while. We are going to bend over backwards to get it done. I can't tell you when. Chase is believed to be looking to top former LSU teammate Justin Jefferson's deal with the Minnesota Vikings that reset the wide receiver market, where he became the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback in the process. Jefferson signed a 4-year, $140 million contract extension averaging $35 million per year during the early part of June. His deal established new wide receiver records for overall guarantees and the amount fully guaranteed at signing, respectively, with $110 million and $88.743 million. The $88.743 million is also the most ever fully guaranteed at signing for a non-quarterback. Chase and the Bengals have been tight-lipped about whether any progress is being made on a new deal. There has been some speculation that Chase won't play without a new contract. If waiting until 2025 is Cincinnati's preference, it wouldn't be surprising for the Bengals to start using the tools at their disposal to try to end Chase's hold-in as the September 8 regular season opener against the New England Patriots approaches. The Bengals could remind Chase in writing that he is expected to fulfill his contractual obligations given he passed the preseason physical. A breach or violation of Paragraph 2, Employment and Services, in the NFL player contract could be alleged. The most relevant portions of Paragraph 2 state, he, Chase, agrees to give best efforts and loyalty to the club. Player will report promptly for and participate fully in club's official mandatory minicamps, official preseason training camp, all club meetings and practice sessions, and all preseason, regular season, and postseason football games scheduled for or by club. A specific schedule of participation expectations could be outlined where failure to comply would result in the Bengals beginning to exercise their rights under Chase's contract and the CBA. Article 42 of the CBA outlines the discipline a team can impose on players for various violations. Chase would run the risk of being cited for a conduct detrimental to the team infraction by continuing the hold-in after receiving the written warning. The maximum penalty for conduct detrimental is a fine of 1 week's salary, and a suspension without pay for 4 weeks. Chase would be out 5 weeks' worth of his $1.055 million salary, which is $293,056, with the most severe discipline for conduct detrimental. A portion of Chase's signing bonus and the $3,807,679 roster bonus would be at risk, with the Bengals electing to enforce those penalties under the CBA. The Bengals would be entitled to recoup 4/18ths THS of the $4,943,571 in proration of Chase's $19,774,284 signing bonus attributed to 2024. This is $1,098,571. The standard of recoupment is different for the 2024 roster bonus. Recoupment is based on the remaining contract years with these bonuses. Since Chase is under contract through 2025, his roster bonus would be divided by 2 before applying the 4/18ths standard like with the signing bonus. Chase's potential loss in 2024 roster bonus would be $423,075. This type of conduct detrimental violation would be costly. Chase would be out $1,814,702 with the Bengals asserting all of their rights. Chase's best bet of continuing his hold-in if Cincinnati stops being complicit is having a mysterious, hard-to-dispute injury a couple days after returning to practice. A disgruntled Jalen Ramsey essentially had a hold-in during the middle of the 2019 season by missing 3 games primarily because of a back ailment. Ramsey was interested in a new contract. He got his desired change of scenery by forcing a trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Los Angeles Rams. Even if the Bengals are able to squash Chase's hold-in by threatening him with discipline, there could be ramifications that impact the success of the season. Without a new deal, Chase might attempt to protect himself by erring on the side of caution with any injury, no matter how minor. For example, a soft tissue injury or ankle sprain would be given sufficient time to heal rather than rushing to return to action at the earliest possible instance. There's a difference between being healthy and healthy enough to play. There were allegations that Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's inability to return from a late-season left knee injury in 2022 were related to his contract. One thing that shouldn't happen is Chase walking out since he reported to training camp. It can lead to some dire consequences. When this occurs, a team can send a player a letter warning him that he can be put on the reserve/left squad list after 5 days if he hasn't returned, which would prevent him from playing for the rest of the season. The player's contract would also toll where it would be frozen and resume the next year. Chase's desire for a new contract is understandable. The other two wide receivers taken in the top 10 of the 2021 NFL Draft have already gotten new deals. 10th overall pick Devonta Smith signed a 3-year, $75 million extension with the Philadelphia Eagles during the middle of April, while 6th overall pick Jalen Waddle received a 3-year, $84.75 million extension from the Miami Dolphins at the end of May. It remains to be how Chase's situation will unfold over the coming weeks.
From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports. From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Falcons sign A.J. Terrell to reported $81 million extension, adding to splashy 2024 NFL offseason. The former first-rounder had been approaching a contract year. The Atlanta Falcons have been nothing if not proactive this offseason, from a splashy double dip at quarterback to recent big-name additions on defense. They continued the trend Thursday, with the team announcing that it has signed cornerback A.J. Terrell to a 4-year extension. First reported by ESPN, the contract makes Terrell one of the highest-paid players at his position. The new deal is for $81 million, with $65.8 million guaranteed. The latter total is the largest issued to a cornerback on a 4-year deal, per ESPN, while Terrell's per-year average, $20.25 million, ranks higher than all but one active corner, Green Bay Packers star Jaire Alexander. The 25-year-old Terrell had been approaching the final year of his rookie deal, due $12.3 million under a 5th-year option. He'll now be tied to the Falcons through the 2028 season. Drafted 16th overall out of Clemson in 2020, he's been Atlanta's top cover man for years. After a rookie year in which he instantly manned the starting lineup, Terrell had 3 interceptions and 16 pass breakups in a 2021 All-Pro breakout. He hasn't logged a pick since, but has remained a staple of the Falcons' secondary, starting all 17 games and totaling 11 pass deflections, along with 4 tackles for loss in 2023. His extension comes days after the Falcons added safety Justin Simmons and pass rusher Matthew Judon, both former Pro Bowlers, and months after the team transitioned to a defensively minded head coach in Raheem Morris.
From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Why Jaden Daniels will break Washington's alarming run of failed first-round picks. Like leaves falling off a tree, another first-round pick has left the Washington Commanders. Washington bid adieu on Thursday to receiver Jahan Dotson, a 2022 first-round pick who was dealt to division rival Philadelphia. Dotson is the latest in a long line of Washington first-round picks who have failed to pan out over the past 40 years. While not every pick over that span has turned out poorly, Champ Bailey, for example, is in the Hall of Fame. Sean Taylor appeared to be heading in that direction prior to his tragic death, and Trent Williams appears to be bound for Canton, Ohio. The majority of the franchise's first-round picks over that span could be classified as disappointing. The good news for Commanders fans is that rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, based on how he played during the team's first 2 preseason games, looks like he is going to break the franchise's trend of underwhelming first-round picks. Daniels' NFL debut started off on the right foot when he arrived at MetLife Stadium rocking the jersey of Doug Williams, a franchise legend who in 1988 became the first starting black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Daniels' play lived up to his wardrobe choice, as he started the game by directing an 11-play, 70-yard scoring drive in what was his only series of work. The drive included 3 third-down conversions, with Daniels playing a key role in 2 of those conversions. The first was a 42-yard dime from Daniels to Dyami Brown on a 3rd and 6 play that got Washington into scoring position. 8 plays later, and 1 play after running back Austin Ekeler picked up a first down on a 3rd and a 3-play, Daniels capped off his first NFL drive with a 3-yard touchdown run that came off of a perfect play-action fake. Daniels was also the recipient of an excellent block on the outside by veteran tight end Zach Ertz. Daniels was just as good the following week in Miami. In 2 series of work, Daniels moved the offense a combined 98 yards. Both drives ended in field goal attempts by Riley Patterson, who missed his first attempt before making his second. Patterson was recently released after the team traded for former Browns kicker Cade York. As he did in New York, Daniels continued to have success on 3rd down. He kept Washington's first drive alive with 3rd down completions to Brown, 7 yards, and Terry McLaurin, 20 yards. On Washington's next drive, Daniels enjoyed a successful 5-play sequence that included a 13-yard run that was followed by 4 consecutive completions. A penalty later in the drive ultimately forced Washington to settle for another field goal try. There are several reasons to believe that Daniels' success in the preseason will carry over to the regular season. He has a solid supporting cast around him, led by Terry McLaurin, Ekeler, Ertz, and backup quarterbacks Marcus Mariota and Jeff Driscoll, an experienced play caller in Cliff Kingsbury, and a coach in Dan Quinn who has injected new life into the franchise. Quinn, a defensive guru who is coming off a highly successful stint as Cowboys DC, also knows the importance of putting a quarterback in the best possible position to succeed. Daniels also has the tangible and intangible qualities to succeed at the next level. A dangerous runner, Daniels has his sights set on becoming the greatest running quarterback in NFL history. Daniels also understands the delicate balance when it comes to trying to make a play and protecting himself from taking too many big hits. In general, decision-making and the ability to make decisions quickly is one of Daniels' biggest strengths. It allowed him to become a record-setting, Heisman Trophy-winning player at LSU, and it'll serve him well in the NFL. Daniels' football IQ is something he prides himself on. A recent example of that part of his game was on his incomplete pass to McLaurin on 3rd down during Washington's first drive in Miami. Daniels quickly saw the pass rush caving in from his right side, and instead of trying to force something, he threw it deep and out of harm's way while keeping his team in field goal range. "I pride myself on being a smart football player," Daniels told CBS Sports during the spring. "Being able to eliminate what the defense isn't doing. I kind of have 2 or 3 things in my head pre-snap. Being able to check into runs and check protections based on leverage and stuff like that. I take pride in learning about football and knowing football at a high level." Daniels is hoping to play football at a high level in Washington for years to come. The situation Washington has created for Daniels should increase his chances at doing that while in the process breaking the franchise's drought of disappointing first-round picks.
From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.